Hello, everyone, and welcome to either your first or yet another of our StriveScan and IACAC virtual college exploration presentations. Today we'll be with the University of Illinois at Chicago, and a couple of quick notes. Your camera and your microphone are off, so you can see us, but we cannot see or hear you. Because of that, if you have any questions, we're going to ask that you use the Q&A function. So you'll see a little box that says Q&A. Go ahead and type your questions in there and they can be answered right there for you. A couple other things to note, go to iacac.org to sign up for more sessions and see the full schedule, but also to see recordings from past sessions, and this session will be on there as well. So with that being said, I will send it over to UIC.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm just going to go ahead and get my screen share set up. All right, Rick, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that? Okay, awesome. All right, so again, thanks for joining us. My name's Samantha, and I have Rick here with me as well. I'm going to be going over a short presentation, but Rick is going to be monitoring the Q&A. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please don't hesitate, throw it in the Q&A and Rick will answer them. We'll also leave some time for questions that maybe we didn't get to at the end. So if your question wasn't answered, don't worry, we'll get to some at the end as well. All right, so just a little overview of the presentation. So I'm going to discuss some of the characteristics that make UIC such a unique institution. I'm going to cover the application process and then finally go over tuition, financial aid, and scholarships. I just want to point out that if you want to learn more about UIC after today's presentation, we welcome you. We invite you to check us out at discover.uic.edu. It has a virtual visit experience. It has other live presentations, appointments, lots of resources, and more. So please check us out there after today as well. All right, so diving in, one of the aspects that makes UIC so unique is our location. We are located about 1 mile away from the Chicago Loop. And even though we're located in the city, our campus is still a very traditional college campus. We have a very traditional college campus feel, and we even have more than 5,000 trees throughout our campus. So I want to share a quick map of our campus so you can kind of visualize where our campus is compared to some of the other Chicago landmarks you might recognize. The UIC campus is divided into 3 sections: the East, West, and South campus. East campus is where our undergraduate students spend the majority of their time. Most of our classes take place there. Most students live in residence halls there. They eat, hang out, learn, and much more. The west side of our campus houses our health buildings and hospital. Students interested in the health profession might spend some time on the west side of campus volunteering, maybe shadowing, working even. The West Campus is connected to the Illinois Medical District, which means there are 3 large hospitals right near our campus and available to our students to learn in. Finally, the south part of our campus is where the majority of our athletic stadiums are. UIC has 20 Division I sports teams. The games are free, and many of our students head to South Campus to watch maybe a soccer or baseball game. One of the many reasons UIC's location in Chicago is so important to its identity is because of those opportunities and the experiences it provides our students. All of our students truly treat the city of Chicago as their campus. All students receive a free CTA, that's the Chicago Transit Authority pass, and it's included in their tuition. This allows our students to travel anywhere in the city on the bus or the train for free. And additionally, 1 in 10 people currently living in Chicago attended UIC, which means there's plenty of alumni looking to hire UIC students for a job or internship. Finally, our location provides students access to a never-ending list of experiences. Our students take advantage of visiting museums, concerts, exploring festivals, and much more. Now that we've discussed the range of opportunities that our location provides students, let's talk about academic opportunities available to our students. At UIC, we're really committed to academic excellence and access. So most people are familiar or somewhat familiar with the US News and World Report college rankings. But one accolade that we're particularly proud of at UIC is being ranked really highly by Money Magazine's most transformative public colleges. Money takes a look at the colleges that outperform their expectations given the socioeconomic status of incoming students and the salary, graduation data of graduates. In short, this ranking talks about how transformational a college is for students that attend. And this is echoed by the other rankings you see on this slide as well. UIC has 15 academic colleges, and you can find a complete list of our majors and programs in the UIC catalog. So if you go to our Google UIC catalog, you can see all of our majors there. And all of our programs can be divided into these three categories. So upper division programs, pre-professional goals, and first-year programs. First-year programs include majors that don't require any prerequisite courses. You can apply to a first-year program right away as a senior in high school, or you can declare a first-year program anytime throughout your experience at UIC. Upper division programs, on the other hand, do require about 2 years of prerequisite coursework before you can declare that your major. Students can complete that prerequisite coursework at UIC or at another institution such as a community college, and we'll talk about this option a little bit more later on. Some of our more popular upper division programs are things like nursing and pharmacy. And then finally, pre-professional goals are for students interested in pursuing graduate or professional school after completing their bachelor's degree. Students with a pre-professional goal will work with their advisor to ensure they are meeting the requirements needed to apply to graduate school. Some examples are pre-medicine, pre-dental, pre-law, etc. Even though we are the largest university in Chicago and have a lot of different major offerings, we ensure access to an engaging academic experience through small class sizes and the availability of our faculty. The majority of our classes are under 50 students, and 35% of our classes are even under 20 students. You may even have a class that's 10 students or smaller. In addition, all of our faculty are of course required to hold office hours. They invite students to connect with them, go over course material, ask questions, etc. Of course, academics are a super important part of the college experience and being prepared for life after college, but something almost as important are those experiences students have outside of the classroom that really supplement their learning inside the classroom. This could be in the form of internships, jobs, study abroad, which at UIC you can do on any continent, even Antarctica, or research. And I want to dive into research just a little bit more because UIC is a Research 1 institution. This means that we engage in the highest level of research activity. We spend more than $400 million on research and research programs every year. In fact, UIC is one of only 4 Research 1 institutions in Illinois and the only public research institution in Chicago. UIC students can get involved in research as early as their first semester on campus. And research is really important for all of our students, but especially for those of you that are maybe considering graduate or professional programs already. Here are a few examples of ways students can get involved in research. First, the undergraduate research experience gives our students the opportunity to submit a proposal to be awarded a grant of up to $2,500 to develop and conduct their own research project. The Innovation Center pulls students from a variety of different academic programs to work on a larger research project. So in the past, we've had companies like Caterpillar and NASA propose large projects that our students have worked on. And then finally, the Electronic Visualization Lab, our students like to call it the EVL. And you can actually see it in the background of this photo here. It's another amazing research based on our campus. The EVL is a display of a bunch of 3D screens where you can make things really larger than life. You put on the 3D goggles like you can kind of see the students in the background doing, and you can walk inside of a brain or even a cancer cell to get some new perspectives. Another way our students learn both in and outside of the classroom at UIC is through interactions with their peers. UIC is considered one of the most diverse and welcoming universities in the country. In fact, UIC is in the top 5 most diverse campuses in the US, and our students here come from different cultural backgrounds with different socioeconomic experiences, racial and gender identities, religious beliefs, sexual orientation, and that really frames the kind of conversations that they're having with one another. 40% of our students are first-generation college students, which means that they're the first in their family to attend college. 33% of our students are multilingual, and there are more than 55 different languages spoken on our campus. We even have students from all across the US and more than 60 countries on our campus. Our campus supports our diverse student body with a bunch of different support services and cultural centers. This includes one of the only disability cultural centers in the country and the only Arab American cultural center in the country as well. UIC's history and our campus culture is really well known for our commitment to social good, what we call social good. Our students are known for being passionate about giving back to their communities. Our goal is really to provide students with the skills they need to be successful in creating change in whatever industry they choose to pursue after graduation. And because of this, many of our courses have community service or outreach components. The student you can see here in this photo is working on a community garden in the Pilsen neighborhood, and it's next to a home for the elderly. The residents there can use the fruits, the vegetables that they've planted all throughout the year, and this activity was organized by the student's professor because they felt it was really important to the curriculum of that class. It was so valuable to use their time that way for learning. All right, so we've gone over UIC's location, our academic profile, research standing, diversity, and our commitment to social good. And all of these things combined make us a truly unique institution. So let's talk about how you can become a UIC student. There are 2 ways for our undergraduate students to apply. First, through first-year admission, meaning you're applying right as a senior in high school, and then transfer admission, meaning you've taken some college classes after graduating from high school. We're going to talk a little bit about both pathways. While they're different, they both lead to the same UIC degree. And it's important to understand both of these pathways so you can decide what's best for you. So let's talk about the first year application process first. First year students, like I said, are usually in high school, but it does apply to anyone that has not taken college classes since graduating high school. If you've taken dual enrollment or AP classes, or you graduated a semester early and plan to take some courses in the spring, you're still considered a first year student. Okay, first year students should apply via the Common Application. The Common App is used by more than 500 colleges, and it can really save you time when applying to multiple schools. We'll need your official high school transcript. However, test scores for those applying for fall 2021, are test optional, so it's up to you on whether you'd like to submit an SAT or ACT score report. An application fee is required, but it can be waived. Just talk to your high school counselor or contact us through email for assistance. There are a couple questions in the application that asks about a waiver already, so start the application first, and then if you have some questions, let us know. Also, some other items that are part of our holistic review process are listed here. The personal statement, letters of recommendation are optional, but we strongly encourage students to submit them. It can really help support their application. Some grade trends, and then your strength of schedule. There are 2 deadlines for first year admission, early action and regular decision. I would encourage all of our students to apply early action. There's no commitment in early action, but those that do apply before the deadline will receive an admissions decision by December 1st. If you apply regular decision, you'll get a decision sometime between December and April. A couple other important dates you'll see at the bottom of this screen are Honors College and GPPA, which stands for the Guaranteed Professional Program for Admissions. They have earlier deadlines of December 1st. You can learn more about those programs online. if you're interested. And then the priority scholarship deadline is also December 1st. And I'll touch on that in just a few minutes when I talk about tuition. Now I'm going to talk briefly about the transfer student process. So transfer students are those that enroll in another institution after graduating high school, such as maybe you're planning to go to community college for a year or two before attending UIC. The application process is really similar, but instead of looking at your high school information, like your transcript or maybe your SAT score, if you're planning to include it, we're going to look at what you've done at your college. So we're looking at your college transcripts, at the courses you've taken at your college GPA. For anyone that is planning to go the transfer route, we offer appointments with transfer counselors every day of the week. You can set one up before you're even enrolled in your local community college or whatever other institution you want to attend. I'd also really encourage you to try out this website, transferology.com. This website allows you to plug in courses at institutions across the United States and see how they transfer back to UIC. We've created a short YouTube video that walks you through using this process. It's listed here. For those of you that are taking dual credit courses in high school, you can also use this website to determine how those credits will transfer to UIC. All right, our final topic for today before we go over questions is going to be tuition, fees, financial aid. So first, a breakdown of our tuition and fees. Listed here are the base rate tuitions for in-state students and non-resident students. Base rate means that the cost of tuition can fluctuate slightly depending on your specific major or your academic program. UIC offers tuition at a locked-in rate, so that means we guarantee that it won't increase for up to 4 years. And this means that the tuition a student pays their first year will be the same price they're paying in their final year on campus. The next set of fees you see on the slide are optional costs. While health insurance is required for our students, UIC health insurance can be waived if you already have health insurance. It's also not required to live on campus at UIC. There's lots of benefits to living on campus. Again, it's not required. We do have students that choose to commute that live close to campus or plan to take the train onto campus. But if you are interested in housing, you want to see more, you want to look at our residence halls, you can check that out at housing.uic.edu. And then the last set of numbers listed here are indirect estimated costs. So most students won't spend this much on books, transportation, personal expenses, but we share these numbers just so families can plan ahead. Now let's talk about financial aid and scholarships. So in order to qualify for need-based aid, all students should submit the FAFSA or the Illinois RISE Act application during the school year prior to attending UIC. So if you're a senior in high school and you're thinking, I want to go to UIC next year, you should be planning to submit the FAFSA or the RISE Act this year. The FAFSA application is available starting October 1st, so it's coming up. And our priority deadline, which I mentioned, is December 1st. And again, I'll touch on that in just a second when we go to scholarships, but we recommend submitting the FAFSA before December 1st. The RISE Act application is specifically for undocumented and transgender students that don't qualify for financial aid through the FAFSA, and that application opens in January. Students do not need to submit a separate application to be eligible for scholarships or be considered for scholarships. Their UIC application will serve as your scholarship application. Students with that wish to be considered for scholarships should definitely apply before December 1st. You should have your financial aid application and your application in by December 1st. That is our priority scholarship deadline. Okay. Here are just a couple of examples of some of the scholarship opportunities available to our students. You can learn more about each of these on our admissions website. And just a final word, there's more than 4,000 institutions in the United States. And we know that selecting just one to attend is a huge decision. UIC is an institution that is dedicated to research and teaching that is impactful and accessible. The programs at UIC are infused with those of Chicago, and we really do make each other better. Our commitment to social good improves the city of Chicago. These unique characteristics that I touched on today, if they're things that you are searching for in an institution, then hopefully the University of Illinois at Chicago is a place for you. So again, I just want to thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, we invite you to check us out at discover.uic.edu. You can also send us an email here at admissions@uic.edu. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, but we'll go ahead and use the rest of our time today to do questions. So I think Rick's been collecting some of our questions here.
Yep, a few great questions came in and some more still coming. Feel free to type. First question was regarding test optional. Does that negatively impact your review for scholarships, for merit-based scholarships?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Thanks. So test optional, if you decide not to submit an SAT or ACT score, you will not be negatively impacted in the admissions process in any way or the scholarship review process. It is optional. Okay, so we're not going to look poorly at your application if you didn't choose to submit one. UIC always conducts a holistic review process. That means we look at everything in your application. And if you don't submit a test score, we simply have just one thing less to review. It's completely up to you. I will add that if you're planning to take the SAT in November, I know some people are signed up for that early November date or maybe even late October, but you want to do the early action deadline, it's better to go test optional. You know, that date it's possible that it gets canceled. The scores do take a few weeks to come in. So it's better to go test optional if you really want to meet that date and you have not taken a test yet.
Next question was about study abroad opportunities and, you know, travel restrictions aside, what opportunities UIC provides.
Yeah, so we'll talk travel restrictions aside, like Rick said, before COVID times, but we offer study abroad opportunities on every continent. Students can go up to a full year, or you can go in the summer for just a few weeks. Most countries, we have partnerships with colleges at a lot of countries across the United States. We even have our own study abroad scholarship office that we encourage our students to take advantage of, find scholarships to go abroad and have this opportunity of living in another place. So yes, tons of opportunities for that.
Another question about the pharmacy program, asking how exactly that works.
Yeah, good question. So we have a few upper division programs, pharmacy being one of them. I'll also lump in nursing with that because that one tends to be really popular. Those programs require students to complete 2 years of prerequisite coursework, their freshman and sophomore year, before applying to those programs. In order to apply to those programs, you have to have all of those prerequisite classes done, fill out an application, etc. And they are competitive admission. I'll add with pharmacy, UIC is a little bit unique in that, and Illinois is a little bit unique as well in that you do not actually need a bachelor's degree to get a doctorate in pharmacy. So after your first 2 years at college of prerequisite coursework, you can go right on to the doctorate of pharmacy program, and it can be completed within a 6-year time frame. It is really rare for students to do that, though. A much more traditional path would be a 4-year bachelor's degree and then a 4-year doctorate of pharmacy program.
All right, and a question for clarification on test optional. Is that for fall 2021 only or also for 2022?
Yeah, so right now our test optional policy extends for those applying spring 2021, fall 2021, and spring 2022. We have not decided yet whether that will be extended till fall 2022. We want to wait and see what the availability of test scores is this spring and how this admission cycle goes prior to making that final decision.
All right. There's a question here about employment rates and statistics for UIC students And what I'm going to do is send a link to our report on that so you can read the statistics, because it really does depend. But if there's anything you wanted to say about that, and I'm sending it now to everyone, the link, so they can read the report.
Yeah, I will just say that at UIC, the availability of internship opportunities is super high. One thing that really helps with that is 1 in 10 people currently living in Chicago went to UIC. So we have a lot of people in the city looking to hire students for internships and jobs. And so our internship and post-graduation job rates are very high, and that helps a lot.
All right, a question about our method on accepting IB or AP credit.
Yeah, sure. I think Rick can throw a link in the chat for this question as well, so you can see exactly how your AP or IB courses transfer. But we do accept credit for both. We do give real course credit, not elective course credit for AP and IB scores. And the link that Rick provides, you can actually look up the exact exam you took and then see the exact course that you'll receive credit for based on that, on the score you got.
Yes, and I'm sending that right now, so I think everyone can see it, and I just sent it. This question is about GPPA medicine. What SAT score do I need, and what are the requirements overall, and how many essays do I need to write for GPPA medicine?
Yeah, great question. So let me spend a little bit of time talking about the Honors College and GPPA, which again stands for Guaranteed Professional Program for Admissions. The Honors College first, and then I'll dive into GPPA, but the Honors College is a program for highly motivated students within our campus. They are looking for students with about a 3.5 unweighted GPA or higher from high school, but anybody interested is encouraged to apply. The Honors College offers our students a lot of additional opportunities like research, smaller class sizes, individualized advising, other activities, but they are really looking for students that want to excel academically and meet other highly motivated, highly achieving students on our campus. If you want to apply to the Honors College, you apply directly through the Common App, just like you would apply normally to UIC. Now, GPPA is for students that know I want to go to graduate or professional school. I know I want to be a doctor. I know I want to be a pharmacist. I know I want to do the upper division nursing program. These are for students that already know they want to continue on after that bachelor's degree, or they really know that they want to go into the nursing program. This is a direct admit program. If you apply as a senior in high school, and only seniors in high school are eligible, and you're admitted to the program, you'll have a guaranteed seat in that upper division or graduate professional program. For example, if we have a student that's pre-med, they can apply to this program, and if they're admitted, they'll have a guaranteed seat in the UIC Medical School after they finish their bachelor's. This is not a fast track program. A lot of students ask me, what's that 7-year medical program that you have? It's still a full 4-year bachelor's degree and a full 4-year medical degree, or whatever graduate program you're going into and whatever the length is on it. It's not a fast track program, but it is a guaranteed seat. In order to apply for this program, you'll also apply through the Common App. GPPA really, really strongly encourages students to apply to the Honors College as well. And some programs like medicine require students to apply to the Honors College. But if you'd like to be competitive in GPPA, you will want to apply to the Honors College as well. Each of those programs requires an additional essay, and then 2 letters of recommendation total are required. So if you're applying to UIC, to Honors, and to GPPA, you'll be asked to write 2 additional essays and submit 2 total letters of recommendation. GPPA also asks students, they're going to be asking students to do a virtual interview this year. So they may invite you to do an interview as well.
All right. Question about teacher availability. What does that look like? And do teachers interact with students both in and out of the classroom? And are there tutoring options?
Yeah, really good question. So first, I want to say the availability of our teachers is great. We have a small faculty to student ratio to begin with, but all of our professors are required to hold office hours. where they can engage with their students. A lot of our professors are also doing like virtual office hours now, and I foresee that they will continue that too. So if a student doesn't want to come all the way to their office or something, they can meet with them over video chat. Some of our larger classes also have graduate student instructors. A lot of people get nervous when they hear that their discussion section or that their smaller class is taught by a graduate student. And what I want to say about that is graduate students, it's not their responsibility to teach any new material. It's only their job to go over the material that was taught by the professor. So they really work hand in hand to make sure they understand the material and that they're helping students prepare for a test or a paper or whatever is upcoming in that course. And then in terms of tutoring, we have a ton of different centers on campus that offer free tutoring. We have a huge math and science learning center that covers basically all of the introductory math and science courses. A lot of our cultural centers also offer free tutoring, and a lot of the more challenging courses, I'll say, a lot of the courses that students tend to have questions on, we offer a lot of free tutoring for. And those resources are really easy to find. We always encourage students to try out maybe a couple different centers until they find the one that's most that's best for them.
All right. A question about how does switching majors work? Particularly the student wants to know if it's business to computer science, so two different colleges.
Yeah, great question. So I have a few things I want to say about that. First of all, 70% of high school seniors change their major in college. So if you're not sure what you want to study or you're flipping between a few, you're in the same boat with 70% of your other classmates. No worries. It's very easy to change majors in college. And I think most colleges will say that, maybe with the exception of a few programs, but it is generally really easy to change colleges. If you're thinking about changing your major to something outside of your college, so like this student's example, he started in the College of Business and now I want to go to the College of Engineering. There is just some small requirements you need to meet. You need to take a couple classes and maintain a strong GPA, but the process is really smooth and easy as long as you do those few requirements. The last thing I want to say on this topic though is, if you're thinking I'm going to apply to business instead of engineering because maybe it's easier to get into, that may be a mistake, because you wouldn't be able to start in the College of Engineering until after, at least your first semester, probably your first year, just depending on what classes you take. And the Common App also allows you to put a first, second, and third choice major. So if you put computer science as your first choice and you aren't admitted to that specific program, you'll be reviewed for your second choice. It's always best to go for it. Go for your first choice program, even if you think it's more of one of the more competitive programs to get into.
All right, a question about the percentage of students who are accepted, so our acceptance rate.
Our acceptance rate's about 70%. Most of our admitted students have around or above a 3.0 unweighted GPA. So that you can kind of use that as a guide. However, that's, not to say that we don't have students with lower or much higher and everything in between admitted every year. Rick can probably add the first year requirements page to the chat so you can check out more of our averages for each of our colleges as well. If you're concerned about the admissions process or you're wondering if you might be a good fit, you can definitely send us an email or set up an appointment with us on discover.uic.edu too, and we can kind of talk about your case more specifically.
All right, and question about what are some of the common events that take place on the UIC campus?
Yeah, awesome. We have a lot of traditions that happen on campus every year. I think one of student favorite tradition is called Spark in the Park. It typically is like the kickoff to a new academic year. This year we're doing it virtually, but we'll go back to doing it in person in the future. We bring a big name artist to campus. In the past, we've had like 21 Pilots come and some other really, really big performers. They come to campus and they put on a free concert for all of our students. So it's really popular. Our students tend to really enjoy that. We also have something called the Involvement Fair, where all of our clubs, our organizations come out on the quad. They invite students to sign up for a meeting, grab a flyer to learn more. We have over 400 clubs and organizations, everything from intramural sports to Greek life to religious affiliated clubs to professional or major affiliated clubs, community service, and everything in between. We even have something called the Cereal Club, and they just hang out on Saturdays and eat cereal and watch cartoons. So we literally have, you know, anything that you might be interested in and more in terms of that. And that involvement fair is a really awesome way for you to learn all about everything we have to offer.
Question about what accelerated bachelor and master degree programs we have. And this student was particularly looking for computer science.
Unfortunately, we don't offer an accelerated computer science program. There are 1 or 2 accelerated programs within the College of Engineering, but at UIC, we really believe that the bachelor education experience builds a really, really strong foundation for that master's or professional program. So we don't offer a ton of fast track programs. We think that that first, 4-year bachelor's degree is something that's really necessary to be successful at the next stage. So we don't offer a ton of opportunities there.
Okay, and lots of questions about test optional, and maybe, and it seems like the question really is there an advantage, particularly with selective programs like GBPA and honors? Is there an advantage to doing it if you have the choice to submit one?
Okay, so I know a lot of students are really nervous about test optional this year, but there's absolutely no advantage to submitting a score and no disadvantage to not submitting a score. It's completely optional. If you think that your SAT or ACT score makes your application feel stronger, it's a score that you feel represents your academic ability, then you should submit it. If you're not so sure, or maybe you feel like you're not an awesome test taker and you don't think it represents who you are academically, don't submit it. You won't be disadvantaged in any way. And that is for regular admission, for the Honors College, for GPPA, for scholarship consideration. It's across the board. If you still have a question and you want to talk to us about your specific case, you have this score and you're wondering if it would help in your application to submit it, let us know. Send us an email or set up an appointment. We're happy to talk through the options with you and help you decide whether that's a good decision. But general rule of thumb, if you feel like it's a strong demonstration of who you are academically, go ahead and submit it. But if you don't, or you do, there's no advantage or disadvantage to doing so.
And on that same note, just to clarify too, a couple students were worried about early action and want to know if it's advisable to apply early action without a test score or wait for regular decision when they may be able to have a test score available.
Yeah, I would say if you want to apply to UIC and you're really excited about the opportunity to come here, the option to come here, apply early action without a test score. Waiting for your test score may not be the best decision, especially if you're planning to take it in November. The scores do not come back right away, and the scholarship priority deadline is December 1st. If you decide that you want to include a test score and you don't have it in by that scholarship priority deadline, you could miss out on opportunities there. And I just want to clarify that when you're submitting the common application, it does ask you, do you want to be test optional? And if you put yes, we will not review your application until you submit those scores. If you put no, then no problem. We will start reviewing it as soon as we have your application and your transcripts. Okay, you can't change that though. So if you put yes and you're planning to take the SAT in November, and then you say, oh no, I want to change my mind, I want to apply early action, can I switch it to no? Unfortunately, you can't change that question. So when you are deciding, you want to be really sure about whether you want to go test optional or not. we do have a test optional FAQ page on our website as well. You can kind of learn a little bit more about your options as far as that goes.
Question, how does UIC keep students safe?
Yeah, really good question. So I'm going to answer this in two ways, our normal safety measures, and then in times of kind of COVID-19, I'll talk a little bit about what we're doing there. In terms of just safety on campus in general, we have a lot of different safety measures in place to keep our students safe. We are located in Chicago, which means that, you know, we can't always control who comes onto our campus, but because we know that, we've taken a ton of preventative measures just to make sure our students stay safe. We have our own police department. They're Chicago police certified, you know, they're actual Chicago police officers, not some campus security or anything like that. We're a blue light campus, which means we have big blue lights kind of sticking out of the ground every block or so. If you push the button on those blue lights, you'll be automatically connected with the police. They'll be there within 60 seconds to assist you with whatever you need. And a lot of campuses across the country have become blue light campuses because they've realized that's a really effective way to keep their students safe. But we also offer things like a free Uber. So if you're at the library late, you can do a free Uber home to your residence hall or close by off-campus housing. We have escorts that can walk you home, other students, so that, you know, if you feel comfortable walking from one place to another on campus, someone will come escort you. And then just, and lots of others as well. That's just a few highlights. But also in terms of COVID-19, we've taken a lot of safety precautions to make sure our students and our staff are safe. And UIC is actually doing a lot in terms of research on COVID-19. We are leading the city of Chicago in terms of method of contact tracing. We're developing our own hand sanitizer. We have our own whole COVID-19 testing space on campus. So we're doing a ton of research and incorporating that back into our safety measures on campus as well. Hopefully we're able to get all of our students safely back on campus really, really soon. But until then, we'll continue those safety measures just to make sure everyone stays safe.
All right, well, I think that's the time we have, but of course, continue asking questions at our email and visit us for more live sessions at discover.uic.edu. Thank you.
Perfect. And just one quick little note. Thank you to UIC for giving us this information today, and also for providing this information via the recorded session that will be available on IACAC.org. Please go to IACAC.org to see the full schedule and sign up for more sessions like this or general college exploration information. You'll also be able to find this session and many others available that have been recorded already. When you close out, you're going to get a very quick 4-question survey. We just ask that you fill that out to let us know how things went and how, of course, we can do better. But once again, thank you to UIC, and thank you to all of you who were a part of this and watching today. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.